The Persistent Seeker. Once, in a quiet village at the foot of a great mountain, there lived a young seeker named Lian. For years, Lian had heard stories of the deep wisdom hidden in meditation and longed to experience it for himself. He had heard that through meditation, one could uncover the secrets of the mind and unlock a profound understanding of life. So, with great determination, he decided to begin his own spiritual journey. Each morning, Lian would sit in a small, peaceful grove near the edge of the village, surrounded by tall trees whose branches whispered in the wind. He would sit cross-legged on the soft earth, close his eyes, and begin his meditation, hoping to reach the clarity and peace he had heard about. But every time he tried to meditate, his mind would be filled with distractions. At first, it was small things. He would hear the rustling of the leaves, the chirping of birds, or the distant sound of children playing. Each noise seemed to pull his attention away from his practice. He would try to return to his breath, to focus his mind, but another thought would come: what should I eat for lunch? Why does the wind feel so cold? And before long, the stillness of meditation seemed impossible to find. Days turned into weeks, and Lian grew frustrated. His mind felt like an untamed whirlwind, and no matter how hard he tried to calm it, the distractions were always there, like shadows that refused to leave. One day, feeling defeated, Lian went to the village elder, an old monk who had been meditating for many decades, and asked, "Master, I have been meditating for weeks, but my mind is always filled with distractions. I cannot find the peace I seek. How can I quiet my thoughts?" The elder looked at Lian with kind eyes and smiled gently. "Ah, young one, you have not failed. The mind is like a river, constantly flowing. At first, it feels chaotic, full of debris and turbulence. But with patience and practice, the river will eventually find its way to stillness. You must not rush the process. Meditation is not about forcing stillness, it is about allowing stillness to emerge in its own time." Lian felt a small flicker of hope at the elder's words but was still unsure. "But master," he said, "the distractions are constant. How can I ever hope to reach the stillness you speak of if my mind is always so busy?" The elder nodded wisely. "The distractions are not your enemy, Lian. They are simply a part of your journey. When you sit to meditate, you may feel your mind racing, but that is not a reason to stop. Instead, allow the distractions to come and go without judgment. Each thought, each sound, is like a cloud passing through the sky. They will come, and they will go. Your task is not to eliminate them, but to learn to be at peace with them." Lian listened closely, trying to understand. "So, you are saying that I should not fight the distractions? I should simply let them be?" The elder smiled again. "Yes, exactly. Meditation is not about achieving something outside of yourself. It is about learning to be present with what is, without attachment or resistance. When you stop trying to control your mind, you will discover that the distractions themselves are teaching you. With patience and practice, you will gradually find that the space between your thoughts grows wider, and in that space, understanding will arise." With the elder's guidance, Lian returned to his practice, though his doubts still lingered. However, this time, he decided to approach his meditation with a new mindset. Instead of striving for stillness, he allowed himself to simply observe his thoughts and feelings without judgment. Whenever a distraction arose, a bird song, a sudden thought about his family, or the feel of the breeze against his skin, he acknowledged it and let it go, returning his focus gently to his breath. Days turned into weeks again, and Lian continued his practice. At first, there was little change. The distractions still came, and his mind often wandered. But gradually, he began to notice something shifting. The spaces between his thoughts grew longer, the quiet moments between distractions more pronounced. He was no longer fighting against the flow of his mind but was learning to flow with it, allowing the distractions to pass by without clinging to them. One afternoon, as Lian sat in meditation, he felt a deep sense of calm wash over him. It was subtle at first, a quiet stillness beneath the noise, but soon it grew into something profound. He felt a sense of understanding, a connection to something larger than himself. In that moment, Lian realized that the peace he had been seeking had always been there. It wasn't something to be achieved or grasped, it was something to be uncovered, layer by layer, with patience and persistence. The distractions, once so overwhelming, no longer held the same power over him. Instead of seeing them as obstacles, Lian now understood them as part of the process, part of his journey toward clarity. Through his continued practice, he had learned that the path to understanding was not about avoiding distractions but about learning to be present with them, without attachment, and allowing them to pass on their own. When Lian returned to the elder and shared his experience, the old monk nodded with approval. "You have learned well, my student. Patience, persistence, and non-resistance, these are the keys to understanding. Like a river that finds its way through the rocks, so too will your mind find its stillness, if you allow it to flow without force." Moral: the persistent seeker teaches us that patience and perseverance are the true paths to understanding. Distractions and challenges are a natural part of life, but they are not obstacles to our growth. By practicing mindfulness without resistance, and by allowing the mind to settle in its own time, we can uncover the peace and clarity we seek. True meditation is not about forcing the mind into stillness, it is about learning to be present with each moment as it is. Thanks for watching. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to give it a like, share it with others who might benefit, and subscribe to the channel for more valuable content like this. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.